You're such an asshole.
Good morning, children. So we have an interesting request. It's funny watch it. This guy's got to be in his 30s, but I did the Dragon Ball Z thing. But that has been such a huge and cultural influence for pretty much any guy under 40. And he sent me a video to watch. And I'd like to do live video response. Like you sent me a video link. I can't do it because YouTube is always it's just like why deal with it, right? Well, the policy is at this office, you can ask girls out at work. Yeah, you know what? I'm just not going to. How does that sound? Because it's every time you show a video, oh, copyright strike. Oh, yeah. It's like, well, wait, fair. Well, you can ask people out at the office. I'm not going to. I'm going to affect my own policy. So he sent me a video here of Dragon Ball Z. Hi, Aaron. I'm a returning client. Please keep me anonymous. I would like a video. This is an unusual request. I have a link to Dragon Ball Z that is exactly 2 minutes and 9 seconds. Even started the 2-minute mark if you'd like. That's what's funny is in the 2-minute, 9-second video, I could fast forward to the 2-minute mark, and that's when the thing finally happens. And it was worse than I remember. Haha, I will kick your ass. No, I will make you a chocolate chip cookie. I'm like, oh. And just the repeat animation, they're just standing there powering up, like, oh, this is worse. If you could imagine it, Dragon Ball Z was worse than I last checked it out like 10 years ago. So, I was wanting you to make a video and review it via dual stream cast so viewers can see your reaction through the video. It's just me in pain. It's just me going, oh, that was it. Give your honest review on the anime scene and storytelling. There's no storytelling. Vegeta basically it is a bad guy, and Vegeta squaring off. And Vegeta sacrifices himself, but he ain't sacrificing himself because he probably comes back. And he just basically creates a nuclear explosion to take out the bad guy, including himself. And then there's Piccolo and the kid. And like, oh my God, Vegeta. And he says, I will do it for family. That was it. That was what you saw. I think it took the animators exactly 15 seconds to draw all the stills for that. It was pretty bad. The video, Majin Buu versus Vegeta. Lastly, conclude the video with a simple answer to the question, what will it take for men to return to the table and be willing to go out on their shield again for wife, kids, family, potentially country, and society? And to that, the short answer is, well, when they have wife, kids, country, and society for them, then they would. If men had wife, kids, family, and a society, a community to protect, they would. There's your answer. Oh, we don't have one? You got exes, you got kids that are estranged. Your country, dude, you Western nations fucking hate men. I don't mean to sound like some feminist, like you just hate women. No, you guys really fucking hate men. And you may not be conscious or aware of it, but at best, you don't give a fuck. And of course, to curry favor with women, so politicians could get votes, a corporation could make money, you had to present the lie that women are oppressed and the patriarchy and and that just alienates men. You may not consciously hate men, but you have no problem accusing them of crimes and sins they didn't do. And then you institute policies. And then the culture rallies around these Ruth Bader Ginsburg assholes out there like, yeah, the face of feminism right there. And then what really? Show me where there's been like a celebration or a championing of men. I don't expect parades. We're not chicks. We don't expect girl bosses and movies and songs. But where's been where's the old pat on the back? Hey, you did good, buddy. Thanks, Chief. Where's the old? I know it. I'm aware that there are wives out there, men come back from war or deployment, and kid is happy to see dad. It happens. It happens. But generally speaking, like on a public policy, show me the past 50 fucking years where society, and because of the binary nature of the sexes, when you're talking about one sex and you say society, that by default means the other society, the opposite sex, though other people in general will show me where society has treated men kindly or just attaboy. I'm not expecting praises in songs. I'm not expecting the plastic looking brown chick on the singing platform to sing "Men Are Awesome." Just show me where it was like, hey, yeah, show me where it was encouraging. And you got the fuck out of our way. Right. So, what will it take men to return? It will okay, what will it take for men to return to the table and be willing to go out on the shield again for wife, kids, family, and potentially country/society? Well, it would take wife, kids, family, and a society that likes men, that is reciprocal and appreciative of men. Let me know when that happens. Now, specifically, what's it going to get men to come back to the table? Let me pull up my notey notes here. Specifically what men want. So here's this is what I've come up with. Sex. Sorry, we're programmed that way. Put fuel in the tank or we don't work. You want roads? You want electricity? Let's up our blowjob skills. Right? Same coin, opposite side, meaning these must come together from attractive, kind, feminine women. We would like attractive, kind, feminine women because we're talking again binary. Well, what do men want? Well, out of society, which means default women, but men too, like general community. We want attractive, kind, feminine women. I'll just leave. We could list all of them with big boobs and red hair. We want sweet, kind, attractive women. They're the sun that give us the photosynthesis. We're the plants, they're the sun. I'll admit it. Well, you ain't going to get no fruit. If there's no sun, you ain't getting fruit out of these trees. You look at these wimpy ass soy boy millennial Zoomer type. Why aren't they bearing fruit? Why aren't they out there working? Did you give them a reason to grow? Did you give them a reason to bear fruit? Oh, you didn't? Oh, you were antagonistic and combative? And no, I can't imagine why the cantaloupe tree ain't growing no cantaloupes. I don't think cantaloupes come from trees, right? They come out of the ground. Whatever, you know my point. So sex, sweet, kind, attractive women. Let's just leave feminine women, right? Not tatted up, not overweight. When you looked at War, back when they had pinups, they didn't have Lizzo or Ruth Bader Ginsburg or your typical TikTok moron girl up on they had Rita Hayworth or, well, Marilyn Monroe was after World War II. They had attractive women. When we actually gave a shit about our soldiers, we sent, she's gorgeous. She's still alive today. I can't remember her name. We sent her to Vietnam. Grumpier old men. It had, she's right there. Jack Lemmon, Sophia Loren, and Margaret. Woo! You wanna motivate the boys. You want GDP growth of 15% a year. You go look at Anne Margaret in this. Even in the 70s, she did this dance on the Johnny Carson show, and she just had this simple kind of. She was wearing pants. The woman pulled off pants. And I think she was like late 30s. Oh, she was gorgeous. Just beautiful. It wasn't some sultry. She just was good, man. And Margaret. Oh, we'll go to war for that. No, we got whatever you rank and file unmentionable women are today. So that's the top two. I won't deny that. Men want to get laid and want beautiful women. That's where it starts. Moving on to other things, but they're not as important. But cumulatively, none of this works, right? What do you need for a plane? Well, so far we said wings and an engine. Well, that's not going to make a plane fly now, is it? We need these other things. You need to get rid of DEI and other forms of discrimination against men. You have to give up society's preference for women. You actually have to treat men and women equally. I'm not saying you can't celebrate women or you can't celebrate men, but this horseshit where you blatantly hire women at the expense of men. And you give them welfare job programs. You make all these make work job programs. Again, if you look at USAID, it wasn't only women benefiting from that shit, but HR, get the fuck out of here. Marketing, girl, but get the fuck out of here. You have equal treatment, right? We're not playing a game where the referees are biased and paid off by the mafia. We're just not. You're gonna have to remove government from marriage if I don't think marriage is necessary for having a family. Well, I don't think so. It's not. You can have a family without marriage, but you need to get the government out of marriage. That's a private contract or a private agreement between men and women. And with that means there's none of this alimony or half our assets. No, you cannot say put your entire previous working adult life's wealth at risk by committing to this. No, no. I don't care what you're. Well, if she was the, but and that, no. It's unfortunate we have no honor. Are there scumbag guys that take money from? I know one. I know. That's too. No, let the people or the church or society deal with it. But I am not going to have a gun to my head like you better and you got to pay her for. No, I don't. Stop. That's you are literally telling men to go walk in a minefield. A financial minefield. No, you want to know what's going to get men to come back to family and children and kids? Well, there can't be a 45% chance it's going to fail and end. I guess there's the financial risk and the legal risk involved, but then also women would have to commit to the contract and the vows and all that, which is a different thing altogether. But there's I'm just going to simplify it and say get government out of marriage. Get government out of relationships. Right in Australia, you guys, like, there doesn't have to be no ceremony. It's like, what, if you live together for 6 months, she gets the good. No. Bye. Hey, look, I know all of society thinks that men just are led around by their pecker, right? And a lot of times that's true, but it has become literally you are proposing slavery in an increasing and percentage amounts of instances. You think we're just going to go fall off that cliff because we're horny? No. You're starting to see it now where the disincentives are so strong, it overrides the male sex drive. No. Make it less risky for men. How's that? Included in that, if we have kids, and of course, not all marriages are going to last, default 50-50 custody of kids. Now, if there's very good reason, like kids are in trouble or there was actual abuse, obviously, that would maybe the guy doesn't get custody. But yeah, no, default 50-50. At least that would, related. After divorce, don't alienate the kids against their father, whether that's the ex-wife doing that or the schools or the media or anything. Like, I just generally, I got to the point where whatever it's clients or observations, and I'm trying to, men will spend hundreds of thousands they will bankrupt themselves to get an extra 2 or 3 days a month to spend with the kids. I'm like, no, it ain't worth it, dude. You got to the point where men are walking away from the kids. Beforehand, you're worried about deadbeat dads, right? That want nothing to do with their kids. Then the fathers who bust their ass off and spend hundreds of thousands of dollars spending time with their kids, you guys don't let them. Or you make it that they got to spend. I'm sorry, it's this bad. Generally, if that's the situation you're in, you're best off walking away from your children, wait until they turn 18, save up the money, create a college fund for them, and then say, look, reason I wasn't in your life because I couldn't afford it. Lawyers, mom, whatever. Here's a vlog or video and a $50,000 college fund or home start fund. I would like to form a relationship because I can form a relationship with you now, but who knows if it's right. And here's the thing. Here's where you're going to hear all the, yeah, but, no. The fact, this is a scenario and a very real risk that your family is destroyed and gone away and your children are turned against you. Fuck off and die. Fuck off. No. We're not we want you we want what would it take for men to invest in their family and children to be guaranteed to have one? Like you said, Aaron, you're gonna buy this car. Let's say I wanted a really cool car that I liked, right? Oh, I got my really cool, let's say I got a Mustang, okay? Old school Mustang. Right, oh, you said, but there's a 45% chance we're just gonna take it. It'll just be gone one day, and then it won't work, and da da da. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm not buying that Mustang." And then you guys try to guilt trip. You should really like the Mustang. No, no. If you said there's a 45% chance of it going away, and an 86% chance total that it ain't gonna work, right? Whether it goes away, it ain't working. 45% chance, and an 86% chance total that it doesn't work or it's taken away. Because only 14% of marriages are happy, which is hard to estimate, by the way. That statistic is plus or minus 5. If there's only a 20% chance that Mustang will work, period, whether it's there and it doesn't work or it just disappears 45% of the time, I'm not getting the Mustang. And again, fuck off and die and eat a bag of dicks if you say, fuck you. So there's that. All people, this isn't just men. I think all young people agree. An easy and feasible path to living wage employment. We need to eliminate Karens from the world, send them away to a place. And with it, the absurd education requirements to get a living. You don't even get a living wage job after that. There should be training programs. There should be none of this. You got to go to school for 13 years just to get a high school diploma and no. You need to give men and women employable skills by the time they graduate from high school. Ideally, the 8th grade. We could all skip high school and college. Imagine that, 8 years. And what if you could afford a house if you started working from 14 to 22? I wonder what would happen. I would also, as far as it comes to countries, is I would be putting severe limitations in outsourcing jobs overseas and having immigrants come in and take the jobs. Because not everyone can be an engineer. Sit down, everyone. What if we didn't import 30 million aliens, legal or illegal, doesn't matter? Do you think maybe picking the fruit would be a living wage? Do you think mowing yards might be a living wage? Do you think, right? So tiring. We need immigrants. No, wages would go up if you didn't have immigrants. The less people, the higher the wages. But you would have to make it that men could support themselves and a family if they wanted to. Not make it harder. And that is a problem for both men and women in this country, regardless. I would remove all man bashing in public media. Now, what I mean by public media, I don't mean like private companies. I mean like colleges, universities, publicly funded, government organizations, mainly academia. But I don't want to limit the freedom of speech of a market. If a marketing company wants to put fat, ugly women, say we don't need no man, and let's cut their junk off for a Calvin Klein ad or whatever. You want to be Target, you want to be Disney. Fine. You do all the man bashing you want. Gillette, Procter and Gamble, which literally did do man bashing. Fine, go ahead. Freedom of speech, your money. You could be a dick if you want, but along with removing DEI, no more initiatives where, oh my God, women are the most amazing thing. No, they're not. They've been half the population. They're very common. They're all over the place. This doesn't mean we celebrate men and now switch it around and we absurdly celebrate the existence of men. But this whole patriarchy, men are oppressive, that bullshit with Brett Kavanaugh. Yeah. Now that shit ends. I mean, it's not going to, because so many people's lives are based in bashing men and being a victim. It's sad. But men can't go to a society and see they're public institutions creating laws that discriminate against them and treat them like shit. There. How's that? If I'm trying to think of a company that's generic. If the Ford Motor Corporation wants to start doing, we're making all of our cars pink, and oh well, Burger King did that, right? Wasn't it Burger King? You guys did the pink tax because men were just oppressing women so much. You thought it'd be funny, Burger King, right? If you want to treat men like shit, go ahead. You want to get in the sex war, go ahead. You do it with private fucking money. But our public institutions, whether it's the judicial system or the schools or whatever, the Department of the Interior, I don't care. Knock it off with, oh, women are so oppressed, and by association, men are oppressing. We're done with that shit. What? But the public institutions could do it too. Just don't expect men to oh yeah, I'm going to go throw myself on that beach, get mowed down by a German machine gun for you. There should be public support, not contempt for men. Here's where I see we're never going to progress as a society if the pendulum keeps swinging one way or the other, and we're constantly at war with each other, which I think is what the CCP and the Democrat Party want. Okay. It has to be realistic, empirical, and based in reality. It has to be universal, consistent, and fair to everyone, which the fairest thing to do is to leave people the fuck alone. Right. But I am not expecting the treatment women have gotten these past 50 years, where it is a constant dick suck. Women had to go and get strap-ons so that their phalluses might be sucked. The past 50 fucking years. There's that poster they found at the Seattle Public Schools where it says women are perfect, and it's a little mixed race girl, because of course she is. This constant celebration of women, this worshiping of women, is getting mighty fucking tiring. And you know what? I think men would get sick of it too if it was constant dick suck of men. Oh my God, men are perfect. Oh my God, it's man's day. It's man's way. It's like, no. We've been here for 200,000 years, both men and women, human form anyway. There's been 75 billion of us each. 4 billion men, 4 billion women today. We're not big deals. Stop celebrating the way you were born. Knock it the fuck off. I think men just want public support, not celebration, right? We go fight a war, we come back, there's a little parade. We apply for a job, or we're looking for a job in the community, instead of we're laying off people like Microsoft. Oh, we're firing a bunch of people, but we're increasing the number of HB1 visas. Like, there was a time, oh, Jimmy came back from the war. Jimmy was doing something. Jimmy came back to he needs a job. Oh, yeah, I know a guy. And this was back in the days, like, oh yeah, Jimmy was a reputable person in town, a handshake, and then Jimmy went, whatever, sweeping floors or working at the factory, or maybe something a little bit more white collar. But there was a community, like, oh, we need to find Jimmy a job. Right now, every major U.S. corporation they're like, how can we fuck the American employer over, both men and women, except for with the DEI incentives? Like, we'll create bullshit make work jobs for women. Oh my God, women. Oh, because we haven't worshiped them enough the past half a century. Oh, Bob, you want a job? You busted your ass off. You went to college. You got yourself a degree. Fuck you. We're outsourcing it overseas, or getting some H-1B visas in there. Oh, too bad. Like, there is no fucking communal support whatsoever. And so that's what I meant. Public support. Meaning, hey, you're generally on the side of all people. Not just women, not just men, all. And I don't want the pendulum to swing all the way back, where it's just, oh my God, men and fuck women. Am I right? No. All. Sit down, you Democrats. Have you Democrats heard of this thing called equality? It's a crazy concept. It means you treat all humans equally. I know you're all about, wait, as long as you're not a white male, what variant? Democrats really do treat humans like Pokemon cards. Instead of just like, we should treat all Pokemon the same. You guys are like, oh my God, you're a Charizard? Well, you get extra points. Oh, but you're a Bulbasaur? You're, what would be the general? You're a Pikachu. Oh, you're oppressing all the other Pokemon. No society has time for that. None. But that's the Democrat Party. Bigoted, sexist, racist motherfuckers. So men would just like, hey, I know my community is on my side, unless I'm a criminal. Society votes to maintain borders and not let other people in to undermine our culture and economy. I'm not against immigration in economic times where it's necessary. But part of having a culture, a country, is we take care of our citizens first. Isn't that bigoted? Yes. But that's every country, right? I don't expect Guatemala to take care of Americans, but Guatemala sure the fuck expects Americans to take care of theirs. No. Look, ladies, this is you. Society, remember binary society, and some soy boy men. If you're going to make it that we're going to allow other people to come into our country, increase the labor supply, lower wages, you're going to give them voting rights when they didn't do anything. They didn't come here legally, especially. For what, as far as I could tell, I understand the Democrats' motivation to have immigrants come in because they want power, and these are people who never want to work for. I'm not talking the immigrants. I'm talking the Democrats. These are lazy, privileged people who don't want to work ever in their life. The way they can guarantee that is to have a constant supply of new Democrat voters come in. That I understand. How society votes, I mean, it's atrocious generally because society, again, opposite, how you women disproportionately vote to just throw the country away and make it hard, not just for men, but for yourselves too, ladies, to make a living wage. It amazes me. So you have no culture, you have no country, you just let anybody in here. So what is there to protect? Okay, this is not to say you don't treat people from foreign nations equally like fellow human beings and human rights. But in your country, right, the least you do is say, no, this is our country. We're going to vote for our country's best interest, as you should yours. Go the fuck back home, right? But here in the United States, society does it because it's popular, while making it very hard, increasingly hard for the domestic men here, native men here, to go and just survive and get by. And then this round relates to this. Stop taxing men and women for children and people who aren't ours. Stop taxing us to, look, back in the day, you had about a 3% tax rate. It was like 1900. Now it's about 38%. And if the guy's particularly successful, as well as you ladies, you're paying more than 38%. And of that 38%, 2/3 of it goes to pay for people who frankly don't work for a living, whether it's Social Security, immigrants, welfare recipients, people in Wyoming. You got to stop voting to take over 1/3 of men's money to give it to other people. You're making men at least 1/3 of a slave. Well, 28% a slave because there's public things with money, like police and roads and shit like that. You tell me everything I just described. 1 in 4 of my dollars goes to other people aren't mine because women got to feel good about themselves politically. You let other people into the country. You're fat, loud, and not attractive. You're not feminism. I don't know there's less sex happening, although I wonder if that's more because there's less marriage happening. It's legal to discriminate against men. You are plainly and obviously, I don't know if I want to use the word hostile. I don't know what other word to use. You are publicly hostile and antagonistic towards men. And then there's a 50% chance men are going to lose their kids full time / lose their family. and an 86% chance that will be miserable or have no marriage, only a 40% chance of a happy marriage. Now, you tell me if men are going to go pick up a fucking rifle and defend the homeland. I mean, you're like kicking them in the nuts, and you're like, go fight that guy. Like, I know. Matter of fact, I might welcome the guy in. Or like, maybe I'll go play for the other team. That's what it's going to take. You're here, and here's what it is. It's very simple. You have to provide men what they want, right? And that basically entails two simple things. One, don't be a dick to men. Okay? Can you not be dicks? We're not asking for you for the female treatment where we're praised and worshipped. And we have entire make work government and private sector jobs created for us. And we just all get filleted by you institutions. We're not, just stop being dicks. Okay? Oh my God, he asked Becky out at the office. So fucking what? Okay? Stop being dicks. Stop blaming us for all your, right? And the other thing is make life feasible and enjoyable for men. I'm not saying you got to guarantee them they're going to have a wife, and not guaranteeing, not entitled to sex, but you must make life feasible. That's more of a criticism about economics and career. Like this ridiculous, you got to stay in school until you're 22. The fuck out of here with that bullshit. And enjoyable. Now, again, enjoyable in men's mind. Oh, yeah. And Margaret's all around. Yeah, okay, we're not that delusional. We're not like you girls where we expect to have George Clooney and we're a 4. But at least we got a shot. Like you're not bothering us. You're not blaming us for your fucking mistakes. You're not letting foreigners into the country. You're not making, you employers are not basically stabbing your fellow countrymen in the back. I mean, corporations don't think of countrymen. They just think of the bottom line, which will bite you in your ass long term, by the way. But make life feasible and the potential, and the pursuit of happiness. They didn't say happiness, the pursuit. Feasible, and we're able to pursue happiness uninterrupted, right? If I want to have a menthol cigarette, I want a menthol cigarette. But you can't do that if you're a black person in Minnesota. Look it up. Look it up. I want to go tubing down a river in Oregon. You can't do it without a permit. Look it up. It's like Demolition Man with I know it was Sly Stallone and Wesley Snipes, but also Dennis Leary was in. Dennis Leary's character. I wanted to eat a hamburger and have a cigarette without these assholes arresting me. That's what we want. Now, just leave us the fuck alone. That's basically it. They can't do it. They can't do it. But that's what we get. Yeah. Well, we get men to get back and protect and society and women and children and their country. It's like, well, then give us society, career, women, and children. Then we'll protect them. But we're sick and tired of donating sperm and our money to basically have nothing in exchange. Like, yeah, no. Don't worry. Now, link below if you're curious where this all ends up. Thinking men are this disposable sex that just, oh my God. They're just, go get the book, A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. I know you women and Democrats and leftists aren't going to read it because you're afraid what it's going to look like. Oh, by the way, it's going to look like shit. But for those of you who are getting sick and tired of being treated like shit, if you're a man and you have no worth, go get that book. Like when you look at men's economic contributions, Bureau of Labor Statistics, by the way, I didn't make this up. It's not bias. If you look at what men do for society, like literally what we do in our professions, we should have fucking parades. We should have parades and a cloning factory for Anne Margaret's. That's what we should have with her white booty boots. Go look it up. Oh, she's beautiful. She's beautiful. We'll just settle for leaving us the fuck alone. That's it. A World Without Men, an analysis of an all-female economy. It's available on Teachable. It's a great book for feminists. Like, here you go. Let me know when you... I would love to see a feminist or anyone who disagrees with that book take it down. And a guy like, well, then you better go talk to the Department of Labor. Under Biden, by the way. So there's that. The book of numbers analyzing the ROI in the pursuit of women. Man, if you're new to the show or new to this, you're like a private. Hey, it's the new guy. Well, if we only remembered his name. Marlo Preston. You're new to the group. Probably go get that book. So you're like, oh wow. So, well, why is society so disinterested? Well, go get that book. You'll find out why. And then, as always, if you have questions, you go to assholeconsulting.com. Let's go to the super chats here. Holy shit, 14. Today's donations go to pay for the siding that I have to go buy after this. Jeremy Lewis Hoyle, Freundleben. $5. Many states and industries have a culture that penalizes military service or even family. They reward the imitation of men, but despise standards. Dry Raven, 3 Raven, 3R, 3 Raven, 10 generous dollars. 48 have done well enough to be about 10 years from retirement, able to travel abroad. Why would I risk all that for a 30 BMI heavier girl boss who would teach her kids to hate me? Laugh out loud. I think a lot of men are starting to realize, look, society doesn't realize how much it costs to raise women and children, right? To have a family. Now, women, you got to invest too, because you're obviously work. Because remember, ladies, you keep voting so that both of us have to pay the extra taxes to raise a rando family, right? Because you got to feel good about your Democrat politics, right? It's important that we both fork over 1 in every 4 of our dollars so that you can feel good about raising somebody else's family that you'll never meet. But what guys are starting to realize, and I've had it in my client, this has happened 10 years from now. Young men, like, hey, I followed your advice when I was in high school and college, and I'm 26. No joke. 26. I got my house paid off. I got $250,000 in investments. I'm sitting on $150,000 and I make $120,000 a year. What do I do with my money? I'm like, I don't know, buddy. It just shows you if men just have to focus on themselves, we will do, even in the bigoted bias. We don't need now DEI discrimination against men. Men will still do a lot better on their own. It is a tremendous investment in cost, as any family is, for men to time and money. But if we don't have that, because you've made it an absolute no, it is an absolute ridiculous proposition, both financially, legally, and emotionally and psychologically. All right, we got it. There you go. He's retiring early. He's going to travel abroad. I mean, you girls are doing it too, right? You like to travel. Come on, okay. Have fun. Reen, $5. Stop stealing my money to give it to people who also hate me. Exactly. Like, like, it's the concept. Here's what it really simply is. You're at a high school football game, right? And you got the neighboring school coming over, your rivals, whatever. And the teams are out there playing the football game. It really, in the United States, it's like our cheerleaders go to the other side of the team and cheer them on. You are traitors. Fuck you. This is Team America. We're on this boat. Stop drilling holes in the boat. We're not even asking you to line up on the deck and start giving us blowjobs. Stop drilling holes in the boat. If you want to go to the other team, go to the other boat, right? Go. We'll send you a little rowboat. Go to the other boat. But if you're on this boat, please stop drilling holes in it. That's we're not asking for you to do a song and dance show. Just stop drilling holes in the boat. Nope, they're going to go over and cheer for the other team. And frankly, get your fellow TikTok girls and girl bosses to shut up. That's another thing. Yeah, I think is a psyop. I'm increasingly believing China's doing that on purpose. I don't think China did it all on their own. I don't think women like men that much to begin with. I've said that many times before. The predecessor to TikTok girls was the girly gossip magazines of the 80s and the 90s, 10,000 ways to tell if your boyfriend's a dick and one to tell if he's all right. I think that's inherent. But the CCP has capitalized on that. And they've weaponized that in the form of TikTok girls to further demoralize you men. Ladies, I'm waiting for you to say, no, women aren't like, you got a very small group of traditional women like Rachel Wilson and all, but I could count them on one hand. I do not see a backlash against Coco Butte or Yana Hawking. And I would say you'd see a backlash if I would have back here. Like, but we all don't believe it. Okay, what would that look? One, we don't see it. It's not we don't see a counter, although it's slowly happening. How would you see that in society? You know how you'd see that in society? When we say, we're not like that, what would you do? Well, you'd stop having the tattoos, you'd stop being fat, and you might drop your handkerchief every once in a while. You might go on an actual date. I don't think women are as hostile as you would see it on TikTok, but they're not as interested on the other side either. And unfortunately, the real world actions of women corroborate. Women they're indifferent. If there was one word I could say, they are indifferent towards men. So when TikTok girls represent women unfairly and over poorly, give women a bad reputation, women might say, well, that's not us, but they're indifferent. They're like, well, they shouldn't do that. They're not going to say, oh my God, but I want to get a guy. They're indifferent to you. They're like, yeah, okay, whatever. So they're not going to say, we got to counter that. Just like, oh yeah, I kind of see some of it. Okay. Well, I wouldn't agree with that. You would tell them to shut up in the comments section? Right? No? Are you going to put on a dress, look nice? No? Why? They don't hate you. They're just indifferent. That's where it's like, well, some women are standing up, not the rank and file. I don't see it in the community. Vala Rocker. Vala Rocker. New guy, $5. You should move to a small town where the rule of law still exists. This is a land of clowns now, and you are not a clown. Well, that's why I moved out of Minnesota. That's the strap-on state. And the men love it, and they're not even the gay ones. Like, all support to our gay brothers across the planet. But Minnesota men are straight. Well, a lot of them are, but they love the strap-on. That's why they send their daughters to liberal arts school, so their daughter could come back with the strap-on and on the Christmas table, give it to them good. You're a patriarch. You benefited. I know. I'm so sorry. I'm a Minnesota father. You're right, daughter. And then the wife is filming it, although they don't have those films anymore. The wife films it with her boyfriend. And that's Minnesota. Of course, that doesn't happen all the time. Colin, $5 regarding motivating men. Have you seen the recently fired DNC male youth outreach coordinator? Rumors Captain Ahab has been hunting her for years. Yeah, like it just shows you one, half the political infrastructure, right? You got Democrats and Republicans. Let's just say, I know there's other parties, 50-50. One of the main political parties in the United States does not understand men. They absolutely refuse to understand men. They may have been so far up their own political ass, right, that they are no longer touching grass. And the person, because the Democrats lost the young male vote, and so they said, we got to get the young male vote back because otherwise we'd have to get jobs. Oh, my God. So who do they hire? They hire a fat millennial career politician female who's gonna what? And it's there. I don't think it's because Democrats hate men. I don't even think that. I think they're just that clueless. They actually believe like you guys should just like fat chicks and her personality is great. And how dare you? They are that dumb. They're as dumb as Ocasio-Cortez. She is a perfect poster child for the Democrat Party. Trust fund baby, spoiled, and truly a stupid human being, and just doesn't get it. Does not get it. XLV, $5. At this point, I'm 35, been single for 6 years, and can safely say I'm never coming back. I don't even care what they say or do at this point. I would normally, in times past, say that was overly negative. And well, you just haven't tried, but I've been through, I was successful, right? I didn't sit there. I asked out lots of women. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's exhausting. It is absolutely exhausting. Generally, This is not hear me, leftist, hear my prayers. Okay. This is not political. This is not what you do with women where you lie and say women are oppressed. Okay. You treat men like shit in this country. That's it. That's it. You don't listen to what they want. You're certainly not going to deliver what they want, and you mock and ridicule them. You treat men like shit in this country, both politically, institutionally, culturally, and sexually. Right? Now, first to defend, women do not have an obligation to men. They don't. You're right. You don't. But I don't know what's going to motivate them otherwise. And look, guys aren't even asking that. We have the Anne Margaret clone machine factory. Get the fuck out of our way. Stop letting other men into our country. Get rid of the ridiculous education. Stop treating us like dicks and make it feasible to support ourselves and enjoy life. That's it. That's all they want. And I know Ruth Bader Ginsburg was really cool on a poster. She was an insufferable bitch, a miserable woman, and she was a judge, not a legislator. But that's the type that has made men's lives kind of miserable right now. And to get back to this guy's point, when you treat people like shit, male, female, doesn't matter, they're not going to hang out with you. Right? Imagine if society was one person and you're a guy and you want to be a friend with them. And they tell you you're the problem that they're suffering, you're part of the patriarchy, that person is fat and ugly. They're just not pleasant people, and your presence agitates them. Why would you hang out with that person? That's what society is. Why would men work? Why would men pay you? Oh, yeah, and you got to fork over $1 in every 4 of your dollars just to hang out with this person? Society, get fucked. It's a bad deal to hang out with you and invest in you. Yeah, these guys are leaving. And you know what? It's going to take you a long-ass time to turn this fully loaded oil tanker around. But if you don't, you're going to get that book, A World Without Men. See what happens. Mobilis, $5. Easter Sunday was $4.20 this year. That's what we need, and it ain't going to happen. Stay strapped, stay close. Dre, $2. A PhD from the Carlson School would motivate Cap. Yeah, you know what? You're right. Us men just need to get a PhD. That way we'll be economically viable. Dre, $2. Peace, quiet, and freedom. Coach Greg Adams is undefeated. Yep. Greg ain't, look, it's a very profound quote and statement and goal that Greg has, but look at that. Peace, quiet, and freedom. That's a very individual. Those are very individual goals. There's no person associated with those goals. There's not community, sacrifice, and love. That requires another person or community. Peace, quiet, and freedom. That's the individual. Right now, peace, quiet, and freedom is more valuable and more, you can attain that. That's more valuable and more realistic than love, sex, and community. Because the others require people. And you people simply aren't going to give it. Which is fine. It's your right. Look, I don't want to be a dictator coming in like, you women better lose weight. And you did it like, no, it's up for the people to decide. But if, oh my God, we're a man, I can't find a man. Have you tried being quiet, sweet, and kind? Well, fine, that's fine. You don't have to get angry about it, ladies. Then just shut the fuck up. You're like, well, where'd Greg go? Oh, he's enjoying his peace, quiet, and freedom. Surprise. Nerds who lift, $5. Marriage isn't on the menu, but what about a family in general? Yeah, I think you can have a family. Look, marriage is stupid. Marriage is like smoking cigarettes. You don't need it. You should get rid of it. It's only bad for you. I'm being serious. I'm sorry, Matt Walsh and Dennis Prager divorced. Dennis, you're divorced what, thrice or just twice? How'd that go? You can have a family. A certain community has been having families without marriage for quite some time, and not irrationally so. Marriage isn't on the menu, but what about a family in general? Don't plan on marrying or financially sabotaging myself, but I would like a family. Yeah. Yeah. You go to now, once you have a kid, now the state is involved. Okay. But there are ways choosing non-cohabitation states, getting a prenup. I don't know how effective. I had a buddy once who made his girlfriend sign a shit ton of fucking legal agreements. Like, this is my kid. You get the fuck out. You are a renter. Ba-da-da. So there are other legal things you could do. Give your money to mom, the trust of mom, right? There are things you can do. And like, okay, if we have kids, we're this is joint. Get her lawyer in. She didn't do this under duress. So there's a way to do it, but the boy, you avoid half the problems not getting married. Half the problems. And ladies, you don't like it? Fuck you. Go marry yourself. Have your day. The ultimate answer is, if you say, we're not getting married, and a girl says, that's fine, I just want to be with you, there you go. She says, I can't be with you until we get married. She doesn't love you. Sorry. She loves the day. She loves the money. She loves the commitment. She loves the security, the fact that the government will come in and force you to give her money. If someone really, like, me and Atham aren't married. Me and Chad aren't married. Me and, trying to think who else I hang out with. Me and my friends aren't married. The government doesn't put a gun to my head and say, you got to hang out with Atham. Like, I hang out with that dipshit on purpose. Crazy as that might sound. Oh, but you women need a law, a contract. No. Do you want to be with me? Yes or no? Do you love me? You do? Then we don't need no fucking marriage certificate. But, and whatever comes after that is, I'm sorry, the relationship is over. Colin, $5. Cappy's PhD dissertation. Being 5'9" is pretty tall if you think about it. A quantitative justification of breeding with South Dakotan economists. Dude, I'm going to tell you this. You know, Cappy ain't blind. Cappy ain't dead yet, right? I noticed that there's so few good-looking women in South Dakota and in general. And in the handful of time, I've gone down and visit Fresh and Finished. You go to Brickell, and that's where a lot of attractive women are. Or Vegas, right? There's some attractive women in Vegas. No. The GF said, well, if I die, what's going to happen? I'm like, what would the girls, would I be? I'd be like, oh, no, it's just prostitutes. I am not dating again. Not here in the United States. That will not happen. There is such a lack of interest. I hate to sound so, you guys know me. I'm like, yeah, if you see a cute girl, ask her out. Blah, blah. I'm not saying give up the ship, but there's such an obvious lack of interest. Like, no one, I remember in the 90s, girls would flirt a little bit. I don't get nothing. Like, absolutely nothing. Like, I could sit there, I got a cool shirt on or whatever. These girls are very disinterested. Very disinterested. So it's not you. Nerds who left, $5. A gal is mad at me because I don't want to fuck her because I found out she was a stripper in the past. Has 666 tattooed on her chest. Wears a septum nose ring. Well, too bad for her. How dare you have preferences, sir? How dare you? Are not a human being. You are man-bot. You are to do. You see, this is where the Democrats and a lot of women in general, I don't think it's even malicious. I think they're ultimately solipsistic. They don't realize you're a human being that has taste and preferences. You're just supposed to do the thing you're supposed to do. It's hilarious. They hired the ugliest, fattest woman in the Democrat Party to figure out how to get men back. And I'm like, I don't know. Have you thought about not treating men like dicks and maybe having hot chicks on your staff? Have you thought about that? And they just can't. They can't do, like, what? You're a robot that is malfunctioning. Get the fat, ugly chick in there to tinker around and see what wire and went haywire. Rewire these men to get them back on the plantation. Indertar, 2 Europeans, C17H21. Okay, good. Thank you. Fuck Seeds, $5. He says hello. Thank you. Sean Adamson, to Australia. Can't wait for my sex box to sing Bye Bye Birdie. Bye Bye Birdie. Okay. Dre, $5. Since men realize they're just viewed as utility to others, even their families, and no one really cares about them, why not just live for themselves? They are slowly realizing that. Maybe it's not crystallized, concrete, in focus picture. But look, and men are guilty of this too. Okay. But the fact women have let themselves go to be overweight, tatted up, and frankly ugly, not to mention personalities, but that's a different thing. It is very obvious half the population, society, they really don't care what you want. Because if people say, well, what do men want? They're separate human. Oh, well, you know what? Men like sex. Well, maybe we should stay in shape and da-da-da. Because I'd like a man. That right there tells you. And the way people vote and, all these ridiculous hurdles it takes just to get a living wage job. No one cares. Oh, employers don't care. That's true. And yeah, men are just realizing it. Look, you can't send a human being, male or female, to school starting at 5, have them come out at 22, and then there's no fucking job for them at the end. I mean, that's what happened to me. There was no career. There was no stability after that. I had to go and claw it out myself through self-employment. I could barely call this self-employment through this shtick. I can't imagine what it's like being in school that long. And that's like the ultimate betrayal to young people. You do everything you're told, you come out, you're in debt, and now, oh yeah, there's no job for you. Yeah, talk about a betrayal of trust in society. Men are probably like, nah, I'm not. No. And thank God the Zoomers are figuring out. They saw what happened to millennials, like, nah, we're not doing that. Dre, $2. Men are just a job to women. Yeah, most of the time, yes. Reen, $5. Feminist groups have come together to ban adult video games on Steam. Exactly. Like, you guys can't even have your video games. Right? Beforehand, you couldn't have 2 Live Crew or cursing or swearing, right? That was Tipper Gore. A lot of you guys don't know who she is. The Democrat. You had the Satanic Panic, right? Oh, the devil's in the music. And now, oh no, video games with boobs. I mean, even before that feminist group came about, did you see how content creators just made it like Laura Croft and Every Woman Ugly? We got to go to the fucking Chinese to get our tiggle-bitted video game playing girls, right? It's just, and if you want more empirical proof, not only does society not care what men want, but they hate it about what you like. Look how they try and get rid of, like, I just want a pinup girl with big tits. Remember when Calvin Klein used to have attractive models up? And now it's just, remember, no joke, there was the pregnant fat black man wearing a diaper. You don't believe? Go look it up. Go look it up. What was it? Concord and all the video games coming out, right? They don't even want you to have that, man. They don't want you to have that. It's like, what does it cost you? It doesn't cost you anything. Leave us the fuck alone. And then these people expect men to go and die on beaches or forfeit their lives slaving away. No. And we're going to take all our production with us. And there's going to be a goddamn thing you can do about it. All right, that's it. No joke, down below, A World Without Men. Check it out. It's a short book. It goes through and then, you know what? You could read it. It's like, yeah, here you go. Next time you run into some mouthy little Democrat or feminist or some girl who thinks she's oppressed, here, read this. And why don't you go apply for that oil rig worker job, Becky? We'll see you guys later. Toodles.